What is going on, people? As usual, my talks maybe don't seem like they go in any specific order, but they do tend to build on each other. So if anybody was wise whenever they would listen to my talks, they would go back a few and see if they couldn't find the segues in between the information. And here we have what is information acquisition and how to obtain it, define it, refine it, and get to this place of, is this what we need? Is this the vital, nutrient, dense, rich information? What up, Supreme Gene? And so as usual, I'm going to wait about 5 minutes to see who shows up so I don't have to repeat myself for the live audience. And we'll go from there. Yes, indeed. Slurp down some water over here. What up, Brad Milligan? This is another vitally important idea. I think maybe this is a 101. There you go, Supreme. Boom. Rebirth upside down. What up, Jordan? Yeah. As usual, wait about 5 minutes, and in the meantime, Supreme wanted Beef Supreme Gene wanted me to pull a card. So you received the rebirth card upside down. That means you're going back into the womb. You're not born again. You are not a born again Christian. You are. They shoved you back in the womb. How do you feel about that? How is it back in the womb? Traditionally, funny enough, the rebirth card is akin to the death card. And it would have to do with renewal or transformation. So maybe you're staying on a path that isn't so transformative, and you should look into that. You should be trying to change something, going beyond your normal practices and things, and try to look into a little deeper ideas of the archetypes, because things have maybe a little stagnant in your life. That would be a general idea. Who else jumped up in here? Brad, can I pull a card for you? Yes, then you can have this one. Boom. Oh, look at that. You got some upside down card too. What you think? Have you been feeling judgmental lately, Brad? Have you been judging things too much? You've got the 20th card of the Major Arcana. And that is the final judgment. Basically, have you had any kind of I don't know, loss or regret about things, or made a terrible decision, and you're like, no, why did I do that? You seem to have a pretty similar card in context to the rebirth one. Yeah, just observe how you judge things. Maybe you're judging too rash. You're too quick with judgment over things. Shuffle these things up again. Who else is here? Mr. Bizzles. Is that right, Brad? Hey, Brad, I got no say in the matter. What do I know? I never met you before. But actually, it's actually such a benefit, so I don't, because when people that I know ask me to pull cards for them, it's a little harder, because then all of my preconceived notions of their life and everything, and the way that I could psychologically break someone, into whatever they need to know. Like, that's easy. I've always done that. I've always been capable of that. And this kind of just lets the archetypes do the work. Yeah, this is so it's good that there's a system of computer between us, and I don't even know who you are. So then the archetypes really work. And see, and I think this works better than even sitting down. You know, you sit down with somebody, and they're gonna read your. Yeah, I'll do that for you, Mr. Bizzles. They read your cards. It's easy. Like if someone walked up to me, you know, I walked through the French Quarter. If I came and sat down with these cards, I would look at them and immediately know them. It's okay. Here's what they're dressed as. Okay, I can tell she got a ring on. Okay, she's from the Midwest. Okay, she's got that haircut. Oh, she got the black roots, but okay, she's about 50. I can tell, you know, you break that down like instantaneously if you're good at it, and then it would be too easy for me to pull a card and go, well, this is exactly what this means in your life, because I'd have already thrown into the mix all of the obvious identifiers of that person's life and lifestyles. You know, look at their fingers and like, oh, look at you got something on your finger. You must work in the fields, and I would know that. I wouldn't reveal that, right? I mean, that's how it's done. I don't do that. Never really, but here you go, Mr. Bizzles. So doing it over this is funnier, because then people are like, well, he doesn't even fucking know who I am. How could he possibly pull that one? There you go, Mr. Bizzles. And everything's upside down today for everyone. Upside down. What do you got here? Temperance. Well, that's right along the lines of judgment and temperance. What number? Which one is that? Temperance card? Is the 14? Is that one? Oh, excuse me. That's Saint Sophia. Sophia. Upside down. You don't have a lot of clarity. You've got a lot of opposition or anxiety. Something you don't like. You have a dislike for something a lot. And the answer to that is adaptivity and relaxation. Maybe you're tense and dense. I like those words. Tense and dense about things. It seems to be kind of everybody coming here today got a little bit of anxiousness. What's today? Is it because it's Monday? It's Moon Day, so they've got the moon happening. Plus, it's the beginning of the week, and so there's a lot of like, oh, what up, Gary? Can the cards tell you if you're on the right track with your life? Why not? Sure. I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna pull you one card, and I'm not gonna tell you too much about it. I'll let you decide. Then you can go look it up and see if you can tell you about if you're on the right track of your life. Look at that. Again, upside down. Upside down. The Fool. The Fool upside down. One of the best cards in the deck. And Illumis. It's what up, Katesh? It's one of the. It's funny enough that you ask if it can tell you about your life, and that's the card you get. It's so have fun looking up the Fool upside down. See what that has for you. It's the first card, but it's actually the 0 card. So is it really even a card? Delirium and frenzy, and don't get possessed by something. Libraries. Do people still go to libraries? Man, I thought everybody just did things on the computers these days. I love the smell of libraries, though. It doesn't seem like there's too many good ones in New Orleans, though, because, like, as wet as it gets down here, the books would get trashed. But then again, I've really never looked for the libraries. They seem to be just old houses. So, yeah. What are we doing? Got these things out here. I asked Mr. Mizzles. I'll return when I read up on it. Okay. You will return. Yes. Yeah. Plus, so you can get out of the house. I've got to go do something. I got to get the hell out of here. I'm going to the library. And the smell and the feel of the pages is nice. There's certain kinds of books. There's certain kinds of books that like I have to have in my hands. I cannot reading on the computer. I just like it's so weird. The computer's too bright and shit. It's like staring at lights. I don't like it. And you never know how many of those sentences and paragraphs and words have been changed. Can't really trust anything on the computer these days. So you got bullshit like Wikipedia that like dumb assholes like everybody that lives in America and just get on and be like, no, I think something means something else. Let me go ahead and just put this in here. And if a grand mass of people agree with me, then we'll just leave it as such. And it becomes popular fanfare fiction. Because that's all Wikipedia is fucking fan fiction. Fan fiction for knowledge. Wikipedia is dog shit. It means like Wicca. You know what the Wicca is? It's a Wicca Slim Shady, you know? It's the Wiccas. It's magic. It's psychological magic. If anybody ever, when people are like, oh, I looked it up on Wikipedia, it's like, oh, great. Thanks for letting me know you're a complete idiot. Wikipedia should be the first place you look to see. Okay, let's find out how that's completely wrong and tainted by the masses. It's like if information was only so crude that you could just you could govern information by democracy, and that's exactly what Wikipedia is. Democracy. It means rule by the mob, to rule by the demons, demonocracy. If the masses happen to agree with it, then and it so happens to be true in law and rule. And we'll do that with information, so that way we can find that literally nothing has any meaning or any value whatsoever. And interestingly enough, this funnels and ties right into what we were going to talk about. And funny enough that we're talking about going to the library and Wikipedia, because we're talking about energy acquisition or information acquisition. Okay? And where does it come from? And what do we do with it? Oh, Illumis. Well, let me. How soon are you gonna do that? Because I'll happily, now that I know that, happily throw you cards with that in mind. You know, rather than just tell you like, look at this one fool card. I can definitely shuffle up some cards for you later. So energy. Yeah, well, energy is information, right? Energy is everywhere, and order out of chaos literally means taking energy, which is chaos, and turning it into order, which is information. Figure that one out. Check it out again. Listen. Energy is chaos. Information is order out of chaos. Order out of the energy. To inform something is to put something in a certain order. You've informed it. So informed energy, there you go. That's what we're looking for. So we're organizing information, organizing energy. And we have to be repaid that I have my pen now. I don't know. Kia, what's that say? Nice. The tiny house, Illumis. Excellent. So people need to consider the source of information. Now, certainly, we can always play this game where, you know, even a broken clock is right twice a day. And I was having this idea about, like, you know, it's that kid that's the know-it-all, or the playing basketball, and they're always like, repeat what I said. Oh, okay, I'll repeat it in 1 second. Here you go. So it's organization of information. It's making order out of chaos. The largest, what up, Jeremiah? The largest concept that everyone knows when you get into the occult knowledge and the magical realms, or even people that don't know anything that think they know something, they go, oh my God, Illuminati, order out of chaos. Oh, it's crazy. Like, no, order out of chaos literally means to take all of the matter in the world, or excuse me, all of the energy in the world, and organize it. Because energy is chaos. The organization of that energy is information. It's literally called information. It's in a certain formation. And so this is what I told you, it looped around, funny enough, that we can start talking about finding sources of information, so that we know that we have less dilemma with how much we need to, rake through the things to find. Do we have to look through this hay pile to find that one little diamond, or do we just go to a diamond mine? Wouldn't that make more sense? And so there's a lot of information out there that is there was one good piece of information, and then they just rest on the laurels of that one good piece of information, and then we go, oh, well, we need to, it's like this. It's like you could hook your face up to a whole tailpipe of garbage. You You could take the shit out of someone's ass and eat it, and you're gonna get some good information in there every once in a while, like that piece of corn that didn't get digested. And that's what basically streams of information are these days. Channels on YouTube, channels of the media have always been that. People's mindless redundancies that they just continue to repeat when they're actually faulty to begin with. Everything that we deal with these days, the food we eat is garbage. Like, we don't have a lot of sources of information that are actually delivering the nutrition, the nutritious information. And there's a lot of information portals that, because they've been popular portals of information, they think they've, well, everybody's respected us. Well, no, everybody respected the giant conglomerates because of the power, not because of authenticity or authorship of quality information. And so we live in a time of an overabundance of information where people don't know what to do with it. Literally, they think they're like, I mean, people have got computers, and everybody says everybody got computers in their pocket, but they won't do the damn research on anything. Too busy, oh, I can just look it up on Wikipedia. Well, I mean, that makes you dumber. It literally does. Oh, that's like going to the back of the book, going out, stealing the teacher's textbook, and then getting the information out the back, and then getting the test right. But then you walk down the street and you literally need to do something that's part of that work, and you can't do it. So you can't even figure out how to get the answer, because in the real world, you don't have access to the answer sheet. You don't have access to all that. Wikipedia does. Wicca. That's like going to somebody else for them to do your magic for you. Yeah, that's great. You'll get what you want, but you're going to owe them. They're not going to be doing magic for free. People out here, like, there's people that teach you how to do magic, but like, if they're going to do magic for you, yeah, that's funny enough. I was listening to some Michael Tsarian earlier, and he was talking about John Dee and what happened in the 1400s, and the idea that they realized that they were stuck on Earth, and they wanted to get through basically the portal, through the stargates, through the dome, through the to get off of Earth, but they couldn't figure out how to do it, and they realized they were stuck, and so they went to the microbes, the macrobes. Funny enough, it's called macrobes. Wonder what that has to do with the everybody wearing robes in secret societies, huh? Go figure that one out. So, anyways, they went to the macrobes and said, "Hey, well, we want to get out of, we want to get through the Stargate." And they said, "Well, that's going to take you a while. You're going to need to learn how to take matter and extract energy out of matter, and then after you figure out how to do that, you're going to have to take energy and turn it into matter." And essentially, that's where everything is now in where we are on the planet. All of the secret societies are trying to figure out how to make matter out of energy. They learned how to extract energy from matter, but now they're doing the opposite. And so it was just a little interesting side note on this information, like through all the ages, like all of the information that we've tried to gather and what we're trying to do with it, and where are we trying to go with it. Like when we simplify that, that gets kind of out there. When we simplify it to like, what does that have to do? What does this have to do with my life? What does this have to do with feeding my children? What does this have to do with, there's that kind of general thing. Even people involved in this, these kind of levels of occult knowledge or esoteric information. Most people, the general point is, how can I make my life and my family's life better? There ain't too many people out here that don't have, that whole concept. There's not too many people like doing this for humanity. Let's be very, very honest and very, very clear. Anybody that gets involved in magic is tending towards selfishness. And there's nothing wrong with selfishness. I've spoken this plenty. But the selfishness of them and their family. Because, that's most important. You need to survive first. And there's not a lot of people out here like, how can we do this work to save, or not save, but release humanity from the bondage of, whatever it is that humanity seems to be under, because there is quite a bit of that. And that's all about how to find sources of information, like here, using that concept in a very real day-to-day way, if the bondage that everyone is in is eating food that's garbage, the freedom of that bondage would be finding a fruit tree that offers fruit that isn't hasn't been plagued by genetic modification, that isn't plagued with that is planted in the right area, that isn't producing fruits that are going bad immediately. So that would be the answer. That would be just in the real world. That would solve a lot of problems for people. And in the same way, what we have is a lot of genetically modified people and genetically modified systems of information that deliver us redundancies and inadequacies and faulty logics and information streams that have nothing to do with assisting anyone on this planet in any way. And so we need to be able to look at those pieces of information, and we need to be able to, how would you say this? You need to unplug from those sources of information. Like, I would assume everyone here, there's no one that's turning the TV on and looking at Fox News. So, in one way, look at that. Look at the amount of crap that you don't have to eat anymore. You literally don't have to eat that through your eyeballs. And I would bet some people have had to see that from time to time. Go, maybe walk into a restaurant with the TV's on, or, maybe go to someone's house and that's on. And when you see it, like, oh man, you really know that you're just like eating shit. You're like, here, look at there. I'm literally for half an hour straight, if you were sitting watching Fox News or CNN or whatever the garbage is on TV, that you're getting fed a bunch of garbage. Like, you're eating shit. And so, how is it? Where is it? Where can we find these sources of information? Where can we find these sources of information that have an integrity? And the more integrity the information, the more nutritious the information, the easier it is to provide. Again, this all has to do with how can you assist yourself and your family, and then move on from there. Because anybody that is out here trying to play the savior role, the savior complex for the world, because that's one of the programs that's instilled into everyone. A, through the Bible, B, through the media. Just everywhere you look, that's always the hero and the savior program, and that's got to get trashed. It's got to get eliminated. And then you got this other set of people that are like, no, you've got to do everything for the world. You've just got to think about everyone else. And those people are retarded too, like literally. That's not how it works. Because nobody, again, the amount of people that are doing high level work, your first and only goal, if you're on an airplane that's about to crash, is to put your oxygen mask on first. Or else you can't save anyone. You can't help anyone. If your life is out there eating pig tenderloin covered in gravy, and you can tell somebody about, you're going to help somebody be healthier, I doubt that you know anything about nutrition. So in the same way, until you have something, until you have nutrition, until you have knowledge, you have nothing to provide to anyone else. And then there's too many people in this world, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. There's too many people in this world that have diseased lines of information. They want to share their disease with everyone else because they're unfamiliar with the fact that their set of informations is actually inadequate. That they want to help everyone. Like the little kid, they want to help put something in the stew, but like, little kid, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what spices you're putting in. You want to throw something in the mix because you know that chocolate tastes good on everything for you. That you think if you go throw some chocolate in this, this meal I'm making, it happens to be very Italian based. We got a lot of green herbs, and so you want to throw chocolate in it, you're going to ruin it. And so there's people that come to the alchemistry party, and this is the entire world, and everybody wants to help. This is true. Everybody's been you got to help everyone. Here, let's give all this money to all these starving kids in Africa. Let's give this money to let's give money for the ribbons for people with breast cancer. But yet you have no idea that literally by giving money to those organizations, you're only encouraging cancer, because you're giving it to the organizations that use the money to generate cancer to the entire world. You're not fixing anything. In fact, you're giving up your energy and your power to diseased organizations that take your information and turn it into Why is everybody so sick? Why has everybody got cancer? I thought this shit was supposed to be getting better. So yeah, let me scroll back here as I've jumped through here and see what's up. Jeremiah, how's the music, my friend? I'm so excited for you. And and in fact, to tell you the truth, I'm more excited for me because I get to hear the music. See, I'm selfish. I'm happy that you're doing that because I get the rewards. I like the fact that people go to school to be chefs, so that way when I sit down in their restaurant, I can eat their food. Because I'm selfish and I love it. I love it. And you should be selfish too. Okay, Illumis, we'll do that later. Okay, we'll play with that later. Yeah, I'll get into the sun thing later. What up, Skyhopper? Skyhopper, pulling some cards. I love it. What up, Zenith? There you go. There you go, Jeremiah. Kia, here you go. Kia, you came to the... There's your card right there. Everything's upside down today. Everything is upside down today. Because it's Monday. The moon is doing some thing out there. Plus, beginning of the week. Everything is weak. That's the Dreamer card. The Shapeshifter deck. Let me see here for you. There's no traditional card for that. And it's upside down. So apparently you're having some problems with communicating properly from continuity, and you're having a problem changing. Yeah, fucking moon, fuck the moon. What does the fucking moon ever fucking do? Sucking off of humanity. Damn that moon. Yeah, so and farther on the Dreamer, that's just more on your dream world too, you know? Not having too much access there and kind of finding a way to magnetize your life to the dream world and your dream world to your life. That would be the... Yeah, I don't know that anything's going to pop up straight today. I haven't even pulled any cards for myself. As soon as I got in here, everybody said, pull some cards. They're all upside down. Let me look at them, make sure they're not all upside down. Okay, no, they're not. Because sometimes you could shuffle them that way. Just end up in a weird way. Yeah, Skyhopper, didn't you and Buddy Guy say the sun was changing color or something? It's getting a little more orangey or something? Orangey porangey? Moon electric Sal. That's okay. We can learn to love the atom bomb, and we can learn to love the moon and turn that moon's frown upside down. Or just eat the fucking moon, you know what I mean? Just eat it. Just eat it all. Gonna have to do, you know, though, I mean, as much as all this is all well and good fun and all the wonderful little ways of magic, you know, there is this ritualistic slaughter that occurs all over the planet, which is a little bizarre, gotta say. I don't know, it's pretty weird here, you know. And so, you know, whenever we start talking about these things and people get all airy-fairy and say, you gotta do this, you gotta love everybody, I go, you know, you gotta settle down a little bit, because I think you're You're disassociating yourself from the. Everybody wants to go, no, I care about all of humanity. Like, well, okay, then why don't you go ahead and get into stopping all of the ritualistic slaughter that's occurring all over the planet every single day, and stop the slavery? Why don't you do that? Because you love everybody so much. Why don't you go over and, go into these factories and stop them from slaughtering your brothers and sisters, which are all of the other creatures, and go ahead and stop the slavery that's occurring. And let's go stop the economic system, which is actually enslaving humanity to a clock. But nobody, no, just love everybody. You gotta, And I think people just get too caught up in, oh, well, it's just some airy-fairy thing. It's all an illusion. Yeah, it's an illusion. So illusory. So illusory. How's your body doing? Can you get out of body right now? Where are you going? What are you doing? Your body's just an illusion. Okay, well, just like Einstein said, everything's an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. So until we've got anything more than 0.000000001% of the population that can alter their form on command, well, then I think something else needs to be going on here, because we're all so encapsulated inside of our body and what's going on here on the planet. Katesh, you want us to fight and battle something you've judged as wrong. What a... I'm just not... Sometimes it's like I don't even... It's like meriting answering that is so ridiculous. Like, that's a ridiculous question. And you know that. And you know it. You're just... Why is it the only person that ever comes to these things has something like that? I have you bring up such a beautifully inarticulate, ridiculous response. Okay, so it's not wrong then. I've already said there's no good or bad in the world. So then no, don't fight anything. Don't do anything about it. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing bad. So silly. And that makes me laugh. It really does. Fight and battle something I've judged as wrong. Well, you know what? Then it's not wrong, and you think it's okay. You're not parroting me. You're just being annoying. You're just coming here as a know-it-all. That's all you're doing. This is what you do every show. You're not parroting me. Because I didn't... Yeah, you're just being annoying is actually what you're doing. Why is it that every single show you're the only one that has to come and say something to cause some sort of, to get in under my skin, if that's your goal or whatever it is? Because I don't understand it. Half the time you say something really cool and then you say something really ridiculous that has nothing to do with informing people generously, and you come with this concept. It's really weird to me. I really don't understand it. I mean, whatever that means, I mean, sweet little angel butt. I don't know. I don't know that I have. I have a pretty flat butt. I don't know what an angel's butt looks like. But as usual, I don't know. Out of all the places you could be, Katesh, choice is interesting, huh? Do we have choice? Do we have free will? I don't know. Do we? Do you have a choice to be somewhere else? Why do you choose to be here? And it's and you say it was such a funny little snarky condescending thing. Even from this distance I can tell that you have this like little know-it-all, like bratish kind of like, ugh, but I know better. That's very funny to me. We are here to judge right and wrong. It's our divine right. Well, there we go, I guess, In every instance, you have some sort of choice to make of like, anybody has walked through and seen some bullshit happening somewhere, and you always have some sort of choice to make of, is that the right path or the wrong path? Is that the left path or is it of greater good, or is it of nonsense? Yeah, and as I get back to this once again, the idea of information, like where is it coming from? Like, we have all of these things. It seems like, okay, is it wrong? Here's a very specific thing. Is it wrong that the pharmaceutical companies are literally, absolutely, without question, in every regard, poisoning children? Is it wrong that they're cutting off parts of the human body when children are born? Is that wrong? And I think unanimously, without even, let's not use the word wrong, it's not a good thing. Is it a good thing? Is it wrong that these organizations are trying to take our food and remove the seeds and turn us into plasticized culture to actually genetically modify? Do you eat genetically modified food? Doesn't that seem a little wrong? That they would enslave, like literally turn people to be enslaved to buy their products that don't produce seeds so they can't grow their own food? I mean, is that right or wrong? Or just so happens to be, we'll just accept that. We'll just put a smile on our face and accept it. Get rid of our ego and accept the further and further atrocities to humanity and just laugh about it and be cute. We'll just be cute, you know? Make cute statements that actually have no value and no meaning, because in the real world, in the real jungle, in the whole thing that's going on, like, there's people out there that they're striving hard to help humanity and work for humanity. But then to say something as clueless and clownish as like, we can't judge anything as good or bad. Like, that's, it's good, better, best. It's not healthful or healthful. We know that eating a big pile of poo-poo isn't going to be the best thing to do. Is it wrong or bad? No. But, yeah. But who gave us our wallets? Electric towel. Why do we have a wallet with paper currency in it? I mean, this is a longer storyline, I think, and I think that's what we try to get into. Or let's not have a storyline at all. Let's just do this. Let's forget I even have this channel, and I'm just going to stop producing these videos. And you know what? You all enjoy your lives, because that's what we should be doing. We should be sitting there all in full lotus posture, and just living. Or we're going to go ahead and get involved in this human experience and try to figure out, hey, what's going on here? What's going on with the past and the future, and where are the people that seem to be in control, archoning and archetyping and using powers and manipulation to lord over and stomp on the soul and the spirit of humanity that has been going on for a very long time. And let's bring that let's chill that the fuck out. But then we have a few people that want to go, oh no, we can't judge that as right or wrong. Let's just allow for that. And that, okay, well, you can keep that. You can keep that attitude, because that's a very belligerent attitude. My ability to be have energy involved in me when I say something is quite the opposite of belligerence, because I know exactly what I'm saying and I know exactly what I mean when I say it. I think it's belligerent for people to be so smarmy and unauthentic and acting like being children and thinking that, well, everything's just bubblegum and candy out here. And then all of a sudden wondering why, at 30 years old, their kids, they've turned into prostitutes. Why they got this job? Why does their back hurt? Because all the candy they were eating was poisoned. And all of a sudden we're all dealing with the repercussions of what we said. Oh, there was no good or bad. But all of a sudden we have all of these old people living in old folks' homes, just literally living off of drugs and eating shit and decaying and dying. And people aren't even in old folks' homes, but are living in their houses just with shitty ass lives. But no, that's okay. That's just fine. I mean, that's insane to me. To just be okay. We're just okay with that. Fibroids. The best thing to do for fibroids, Kia, is fasting. Usually water fasting helps that, because fibroids usually those are going to come out they should be coming out of your lymphatic system. So cleaning up the lymphatic system, especially through the use of let me see if I have one around me here. A gua sha tool. Very cheap, very inexpensive gua sha tools and cupping. MK, they are working to make people robots and kill our spiritual sensitivity. That's exactly right. And when people have the audacity to say something so clueless and foolish, and just to let's just get a little kick out of this, that everything's okay, just let it happen. Just let everything, let people shit right in your face and mouth, and everything's fine. Just learn to accept. Yeah, that's the problem with where we are right now. People have learned to accept the worst of the world, the worst of people, and the worst of the shit that's going on, and then just act all like they're spiritually, their spiritual high horse because they have a decent life, and to think that their life somehow mimics or manufactures other people's lives to be better, and it doesn't. Because they live in a state of constant delusion. But when people that are actually living part of the reality while also living in other realms, and then we come, hey, how can we fix this realm? Because it literally is, there are people that are not doing too well here, that we like to assist humanity, and not through delusions, and not through saying stupid shit. Like, oh yeah, you just gotta think good things. Just think it and it'll come true. No, we gotta be okay with everything. You know, you can't judge that to be bad. That's just your moral guidance system that's all fucked up. You think that's good and that's bad? Yeah, okay. That's like people that come through that have $1 million in their pocket, and then the person they're gonna gamble against, like, oh, yeah, let's gamble $100. Yeah, to the person with $1 million in their pocket, $100 is nothing. To the person with $100 in their pocket, that's everything they have. And we could talk about that on all levels of currency, spiritual currency. We can talk about that in the food realm. We can talk about that in education realms. We can talk about that in access to information. We can talk about that anywhere. But it's the same thing. That when people got something, they seem to have forgotten that there's a whole world out here of people that are climbing the ladder. And they need assistance doing that. And just saying, hey, we're the cheerleaders. Rah, 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 just think the best and don't think anything evil. And you'll get everything good out of life, because motherfuckers don't work that way. Because if it worked that way, we'd all be living on an island together, all be eating the guava and the mangoes. We'd all be butt-ass naked fucking every night and having a good old time, and the world would be perfect and nobody would be poisoned and shit. But apparently that is what's happening here, isn't it? Yeah, the fibroids, man, I get some of them every now and then, Zenith, and all of those are correct methods there. The lemons help, the cayenne, the honey. I kind of stay away from the cayennes because it ends up burning my butthole a little bit. But, yeah. Kia, you said she's pregnant, though, in according to what? Kia, when you said she's pregnant, I was that for me, like, an add-on? So, like, what can't she do because she's pregnant? I mean, I don't see why most of those things wouldn't be good with pregnancy. I mean, if you check out if any of those have any, like, don't do this while pregnant, let me know and I'll put my head to it. But I don't think there's any of those things that wouldn't be a good idea to do while pregnant, because again, the baby is only surviving in the womb, which is the fluid of the urine. It's the plasma ultrafiltrate, and so, anything that you'd be doing there would only be cleaning up the environment that the child would be living in anyways. Yeah, MK, the Western world is built on separation. Yeah. I mean, Eastern world is too now, obviously. I mean, the whole place is, right? What up, Aldrin? Having trouble with math. Katesh, now you're just doing that on purpose. So what is this? So what state is not in constant illusion? Enlighten me on this, Master God Zen. See, you're just like, you're a button pusher, and you're doing it, and it's just you're just annoying. Like, why do that? Why be like that? And I can tell you're doing that on purpose. This is not about, you don't want to be enlightened. You're here to cause chaos. You're throwing spokes in the wheel of the things that I'm saying to people while I'm helping people. If I'm not helping you, what are you doing here, Katesh? Why are you here? Are you trying to enlighten me with your genius wisdom? Because if you had something to say, I would come search you out. You know why I know what I know? Why I am God, Master Zen, as you like to call me, is because I've actually searched out all of the questions myself. So when I've found many, many teachers, they always present themselves to me because I'm looking for them. Sabrina, your question of Starseed Shaman School for Kids, do I think on younger generations they have focus on what's being manipulated? I mean, focus? No, but it definitely needs to be understood. Like, if you don't know what the problem is literally that. The problem is there's a small number of people that are adjusting, manipulating, altering, separating, poisoning, giving misinformation. If they don't know that's happening, there's no way they can, shovel through and find information that is actually necessary for their soul and their evolution. Well, not their soul, but their spirit and their evolution to become whatever they're going to be. Yeah, Katesh, honestly, you'd feel like somebody would end up hurt? Like what, physically or like emotionally? I don't know. You would be PMSing because you'd be eating too much salt. And then you'd blame it on PMSing because you actually poisoned yourself? You would call you'd call my ass out on my inconsistencies? Well, I mean, why do that? Why waste your time, love? Why not go somewhere else and find something that provides you with nourishment rather than coming here and trying to throw smoke into things? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like literally, without you here, these little like hiccups and whatever I'm saying in every one of these conversations would never happen. But if I have inconsistency, so be it. Apparently everybody else seems to be getting something good out of it. Many people say that they've gotten something good out of what I've offered for free. If you don't happen to like it, then go find somebody that offers you something to say. That, offers you something good. What are you here to correct my inconsistencies? I didn't ask for that and I don't need it. I don't want it. I've chosen my path. I didn't ask you to be my teacher. You came, in fact, asked me to help you, Katesh. Put that shit on blast, inconsistencies. I mean, don't make me call you out live on here about what you'd call me out my ass on my inconsistencies. I'll put you on blast right here. It don't matter to me, honey. You just come in here throwing spokes, living in a glass-ass house. But nonetheless, I love you. I love you anyways. I ain't trying to even have that, but you causing cancer to a room of 23 people right now, and everybody else that'll be listening in the future. What a Barbara Koger. Okay, Katesh, have a beautiful day. Find yourself what you're looking for. MK, when I was Indians, ate 3 big meals a day and lost weight. I lost 30 pounds and can I eat and gain weight? I believe it's chemicals. Yeah, a lot of it's the chemicals for sure. A lot of it is the chemicals, MK, and the ideas we have surrounding what we're eating. If we attach our mind to the ideas of the food, like, oh, this is going to make me fat, and this has been shown that you're releasing chemicals that are going to bind to things and make you fatter. So the ideas of that will do that. Yeah, Jordan, I get it. You don't have to read every comment. Most of us are. Yeah. But, there's some funnier shit going on there, Jordan. Oh, look at that. I caught up here. We all down at the bottom. We at 12:23, 50 minutes in. So, anybody with some more brilliant input into the illustrious world of information, where all information, all is good, all is acceptable? Yeah, as long as I mean, that's a big thing, Kia, the eating the things but saying it's beneficial is very, very helpful. I mean, it's not going to get over, like, you can't just transmute, like, I mean, Maybe in the future, maybe in other realms, maybe in the future here, we can transmute things that are really disgusting. But like, there's no way you're going to be sitting there cooking up a turd burger, eating that, and just going, "Oh no, this is good for me," and somehow extracting the just the minuscule nutrition out of that. Like, it's probably not going to happen. Like, it'd be much easier to just go, "Oh, look, I can tell this glowing fruit is good for me." This glowing piece of information, which is let's say an orange or a mango, this giant mango, is delicious, and I'm eating it, I'm getting nutrition out of it. You don't even need to think that. That's the interesting thing about quality information. You don't need to dissect it. You just put it in your mouth and you eat it, and you're magically given that information. Where other things, if you have to think about, am I getting something good out of this? Like, you couldn't somehow turn mango into not good, and you couldn't somehow turn a shit burger into something good. So like, when I'm out here planting seeds and giving information, there's not much extracting people need to do. There's not much extraction people need to do to get the information out of the mangoes that I deliver. When other people want to come up and say ridiculously stupid shit and try to divide up my mango and say, "Oh, there's this one little piece of the mango over here that is bruised or poisonous, or oh, it's actually turning into alcohol, and I don't like alcohol. Your whole fruit is no good." Like, that's ridiculous. But we can, but when that person just eats shit all day of their entire life and tries to believe in their God and worship of the soil of shit, that they think that their ideas tend to have more, I don't know, because it's worked for them for so long, that whatever I'm saying might not be the mango. It might not be the truth. It might not be worthy of ingesting. Anybody could have read into what I was saying there. It's just humorous. So, Illumis, why would you get a visitor when you're sick? You mean like a human visitor, or do you mean like a visitor like astral travel and whatever? Yeah, there you go. Put the fruits near the plants. That's a great idea. Your visitor called herself mother? Maybe she was. Did she feel to be healing you? And not do it? Was it just all encompassing joy and love? I guess you're saying, is information existing because of separation of cultures? No. Information exists because everything needs to be informed, or else you'd be living in an infinite abyss of soup of mess. Information, again, being organization, is everything that we see. Like, we don't need to have separation. We look at, I'm looking through my room, and there's many separate things in here, and I could have 3 people sit in here with me, and there'd be while there'd be separation, there would be no separation because of mental algorithms. Let's put it that way. So, but the separation just gives you a way to have an experience. The separation that turns into what you see as information, or what you see as you'd say culture. You can put a culture in yogurt, right? And that's delicious. But you wouldn't put that same yogurt culture in you wouldn't put that in the sauerkraut. It wouldn't work. You could take that culture that's in that sauerkraut and put it into, you wouldn't put it into other things. You wouldn't cross cultures, right? Not for any other reason than they wouldn't mix right. If you're talking about the cultures we have in society, like, oh, there's the American culture, there's the Canadian culture. Those are all mental driven, inorganic complexities. Let's say that these cultures are all separated and divided by people telling us through the media that they're separate. But yet there is much less separation in cultures than the organic living world of humans. We're not all too much different. Terrence, been listening to Terrence about Salvia Divornium. Never had the calling. It's funny. Friend called asking if I wanted picking some shrooms. Well, Well, there you go, Salvia. Hey, Skyhopper, did you ever know like Salvia Divornium was my thing? Like, I used to participate with the Diviner Sage by myself all the time, and then, I'd take people on trips with it. Yeah, splitting the light. Yeah, I mean, we got to that's the thing. Getting back to what I was saying a second ago. Without that, we don't get an experience. You're in. If you're in the ether, you don't get to consolidate your experience to do anything. You'd have no spirit. You'd just be the giant, infinite soul, and you'd be like, oh, this is great. I have all the knowledge, but what to do with it? Oh, you have to go down there and condense yourself into a form, and then once you have form, then you can have experience. All right, electric dial. Well, that's crazy, Alubis. You gotta if sometimes sickness will bring you those kinds of things. I've never really had those too often per se. I don't. I've had things when I've been sleeping out of body, kind of things like that. But that's interesting. Oh. Oh, speaking of, oopsie whoopsie, did I miss? Nope, I didn't. I'm good. Reza, mushrooms make you sick before they teach. Well, you know what? Some people they don't. So I think it also has to do with knowing how to alchemize them, how to cook them, or how to use them. There's a lot of things that will make some people sick that won't make others. I think that might have to do with people's general state of health. Even ayahuasca makes people sick, but if you were to fast properly and you had a good spirit about you to begin with, you wouldn't be throwing anything up. It's like if you go to an Indian retreat, Indian dot, like some of their methods are enemas. Some are actually making people throw up, but they only encourage those types of things for the kinds of people that require that. So it just really depends on the person and depends on their quality of spirit. So, in that sense, I mean, yeah, most people where we are now are going to get sick first. Like that gate is actually getting rid of all of the intrusive things in your body, literally. Like your mushroom is like, I'm a giant alkaloid. All of these bullshit things in here gotta get out of here because I can't talk to you with all of this fucking stupid shit going on. That's about the size of it, It's like if you wanted to talk to your boss. You walk in the room and everything's going on. Boss would be like, everybody out of here. We gotta talk. And everybody would bounce. So hey, Kia, if mushrooms keep growing, that's bioacoustic resonance. The things around you should be, if they're the proper ones. I'm probably pretty sure they are. Look into what they are. As anyone tell you, don't just start eating mushrooms; they can hurt you. But if they keep growing there, they're telling you something. Those are probably the things that. There you go. There's a big reason for that. Kia, I would take some pictures of those. Kia, take some pictures of those and go to a mushroom growing forum and send people pictures of those, and then keep them, dry them. I'm sure they have a lot to tell you. Ooh, Skyhopper. I'd probably, if you're fasting now, I would just wait till like towards the end of the fast, while finishing up your fast. I think that'd be probably the right time, huh? You'd already be closer to tripping anyways. Like a long fast is essentially taking a trip, especially anybody that's pretty clean. Like, even after a fast, you feel like you're in a different place. But then doing one, you're like, oh, things are a little different now. And the transition to whatever you be ingesting might be cleaner. Yeah, the grain alcohol. That's funny. I was watching a video the other day on extracting the Amanita muscaria with wine. Yeah, I don't know, you know, Jordan, and you know, because I'm not the mushroom hunter out here. You know, I'm not the guy to go to about about mushrooms specifically, but ethnogens in general, which is everything. You're just taking a higher dose. If you're already good with them, I think, you know, I think it'd be a wiser idea to take them after a fast. Bioacoustic resonance, bioacoustic resonance. It's basically your human energetic system that puts off a vibration, an acoustic, and it will make things within your local area kind of grow to your specifications. You know, you find people will, like, that have beer guts. They're for whatever reason, their lawn will always have those little dandelions in it, because they should be turning that dandelion into tea, so it'll fix their problems. Yeah, Reza, I would say it's easier to start. You know, for me, I don't know. I don't even pay attention to that kind of stuff with the moon. People say it's easier to start fast at certain times. Here's why though. During a full moon, the little bastards come out and eat. Let's say it that way. The little things that are living in your body, they actually. And here's another. You know what? I never even pointed this out before. But let me make it really clear once again about the moon. The moon controls when the little worms and things that are living in your body that are doing you harm come out to eat. It controls the parasites. Literally, the moon controls the parasites. So now everybody that's back on this big moon thing, go and all my other work and tell me more and more about how the moon is great and how the moon is groovy and how the moon is magic, blah, blah, blah. No, the moon controls the parasites. And so that's why you do certain cleanses during a full moon, such as using turpentine, using wormwood, doing coffee enemas, using, what else? Oregano oil. When you do it around full moon, you're going to get a lot more things out of you because they've come out of hibernation, because they've come out to do their work and eat, and to eat on the carnage in your system. 5 grams of silent darkness, yeah. Okay, Terrence. Yeah. Mushrooms doing, Vikings doing mushrooms and virgin's urine. That seems probably correct. I mean, it seems like what should be done for a million reasons. Yeah. Yeah. You want to eat because it's actually not you, Reza, that's hungry. Your brain mechanics are responding to the chemical impulses of all of the little parasites in your body that are literally releasing chemicals into your system they say I want to be fed, and that goes into throughout your system into your brain, basically saying feed me Seymour, and you go and start eating all the things to feed them. So you're not more hungry, they are. So check it out, y'all. I gotta make moves here. I'm gonna go feed my parasites. And go check my email. See if I got a nice polite letter from probably. Let's see if I got a nice, yeah, one more card, sure. See if I got a nice polite letter from Tesh. It's one thing I'm very good at in my life. People when they stand in the sunshine sometimes get burnt. They don't like. I've gotten. She wanted to injure me. She wanted to hurt me. The only people that ever want to hurt me is people that don't like the truth. I've known that for a very long time. Honesty don't work with a lot of people. People like domination and submission. I ain't into all that shit. I ain't into the groups. I ain't into the ideas. I'm into me and my cosmic family. And shining light on things. Here you go. Boom. Shuffle these up. I'm going to give them a little... Here we go. I like those two right there. Let's see here. Oh, is that the one that's supposed to... That's going to be it for whatever reason. There it is. That's the one. Ah, the first ones have been flipped over the right way today. 5 and 11 of the major arcana. The Hierophant and Nature. So I don't know, you know, sometimes we do these with questions, and sometimes you had a question in your head, and you can divine for yourself, and it gives you a little bit of a chance to kind of dig into what these cards mean for yourself, so you have a little better understanding. So that way when I do pull cards for you, you can divine for yourself. But the Hierophant is basically about learning to express and integrate yourself. Gateways and things like this into different sets of wisdoms. And if we can combine that with nature, I guess we could say something about the wisdom of nature. And let's see what. And this one here is the Apostle Peter. So if you want to look up anything about Peter, it's charity and faith as well. There we go. Look at that. Crazy as zebra. As a brea. There we go. Cool. And then your nature card. Yeah, that's I mean, this is how it works. Traditionally, this is the Justice card. But because this tarot uses pagan ideals in a few different cards, it just has to do with clarity and balance, which really lines up very well with the Hierophant. Finding balance in nature and clarity through the work of the Hierophant. And so you meditate on nature and understand energies, and sometimes this has to do with financial matters too, but yeah, cool stuff. Freaking awesome, man. Of course. Aldrin, as I've always pointed out, if you're going to do a water fast, you do it for 1 day or you do it for 4+. There's no 2 and 3 day water fasts. It will do worse for your body. You'll hurt yourself. It's actually, and by saying hurt yourself, you'll be eating away at more of your proteins in your muscle. That doesn't happen after the 3rd day. So it's wise to do it for more than 3 days. It's not wise to do it for 3 days or 2. So people that talk about 2 and 3 days fasts, it's not healthy for a lot of reasons. I don't think it's healthy mentally. It's definitely not sitting into the healthy physically. And the power that you get out of doing it for 4+ days is better. So I would say, you know, for me, I'd say you do a fast for 1 day or you do it for 5. That's your choices. 1 or 5 or you know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you know what I mean. 1 or 5 or more. You know, some people fail and don't get through, and that's fine. You know, it's not like the end of the world or anything, but to actually just go, no, I'm going to do a 3 day, I would never recommend that to anyone. Yes. Okay, cool, y'all. Well, I gotta go run off and feed all of my demon seeds. What up, Natasha? And I'll do this real quick. The meaning of a monad? Monad is just the sun. It just, the way that I use it, whenever I've termed it before, I tend to say it in a sense of once you walk around the astrology signs, meaning, okay, if you're a Leo and you walk through all of them and you get to the 3 that you're not comfortable with, because that would be, you know, a Leo is the fire sign, so the air, fire, earth, and so you'd have the air, fire, earth, and water. So it would be the air, the earth, and the water that are right next to you. Once you go through and make comfort with those types of things, and you've walked around and you have all 12 signs inside of you, then you become the monad. You become the sun. So that's what the sun does. The sun creates what is astrology. Without the sun, there is no astrology, you see. It's all about where the sun is. So then the monad is the creation of astrology. So the astrologer is the monad. The monad is the 13. This is why they don't put 13 anywhere. They don't want you to know about what 13 means. 13 means 12 months plus the sun. 13 means the 12 hours in the day plus the designer. 13 means Jesus and the 12 apostles. That's 13. So the 13 is disguised. The 13 is the monad. So hopefully that makes a little sense whenever I'm saying it. Oh, Christine, well, just dip back through. It's a fun one. Okay, but yeah, I'm gonna roll out of here, guys. And as always, I work for LOLs whenever I make funny jokes. So in the future, make sure you LOL at me. That helps a lot. And thumbs up works really well, because then when people come to my channel in the future, they'll be like, oh my God, he's really cool. People like him, and they'll listen too. And you can always find all of the things to throw me currency if you want. And if not, I'll see you next time. Do cool things, inspire the world. If you can't do that, at least at least eat well today. How's that? Cheers, y'all.